scene in Act 1. This is in Macbeth's castle. And here we go.
If it were done when 'tis done, then 'twere well it were done quickly. If the assassination could trammel up the consequence, and catch with his surcease success, that but this blow might be the be-all and the end-all here. But here upon this bank and shoal of time we'll jump the life to come. But in these cases we still have judgment here, that we but teach bloody instructions, which, being taught, return to plague the inventor. This even-handed justice commends the ingredients of our poisoned chalice to our own lips.
All right, so notice Macbeth is performing a soliloquy. He's alone on stage, and he's thinking about this murder, so the assassination. He's talking, he's knowing that it's coming up, and so he's starting to stress about it. And so pay attention to what he says next.
He's here in double trust. First, as I am his kinsman and his subject, strong both against the deed. Then, as his host, who should against his murderer shut the door, not bear the knife myself. Besides, this Duncan hath borne his faculties so meek, hath been so clear in his great office, that his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation of his taking off.
All right, so here's where we know he's starting to change his mind. He says, he, meaning Duncan, is here in double trust. He doubly trusts me. First, I am his kinsman and his subject, but also as his host. So he goes on to say, as a host and as a kinsman and a subject, it should be Macbeth who's the one protecting him from murderers, not the one who's actually going to kill him himself, right here. And then he goes on to say, and anyway, Duncan is such a good guy. His virtues, so he's such a good guy, his virtues will plead like angels, trumpet-tongued against the deep damnation. So it's like, of all people to murder, how are you going to murder someone who is such a moral and good king and good guy? So he's, like we said, having second thoughts about this.
And pity, like a naked newborn babe striding the blast, or heaven's cherubim horsed upon the sightless couriers of the air, shall blow the horrid deed in every eye, that tears shall drown the wind. I have no spur to prick the sides of my intent, but only vaulting ambition, which o'erleaps itself and falls on the other.
So it's like, I want to be king, but I don't know that I have this in me. I don't have the spur. I don't know if I can do this. I certainly have the ambition. We know that, but I don't know if I can murder the king. So Lady Macbeth's not going to take this well.
How now? What news?
He has almost supped. Why have you left the chamber?
Hath he asked for me?
Know you not he has?
We will proceed no further in this business. He hath honoured me of late, and I have bought golden opinions from all sorts of people, which would be worn now in their newest gloss, not cast aside so soon.
Okay, so he's pretty firm with his wife. He puts his foot down. He says, we will proceed no further in this business, period. That's it. King Duncan respects me, and I don't want to do it. So she says,
was the hope drunk wherein you dressed yourself? Hath it slept since, and wakes it now to look so green and pale at what it did so freely? From this time such I account thy love. Art thou afeard to be the same in thine own act and valor as thou art in desire? Wouldst thou have that which thou esteem'st the ornament of life, and live a coward in thine own esteem, letting I dare not wait upon I would, like the poor cat in the adage?
Prithee, peace. I dare do all that may become a man. Who dares do more is none.
Okay, there's a lot going on here. So Lady Macbeth basically says, are you crazy? Are you insane? What are you talking about? Then pay attention. She starts to ask him some questions. She also throws in this word, which we know that Macbeth cares a whole lot about being seen as brave. So she says, do you want to live and be a coward? And he comes right back at her in response particularly to this word, to coward, that I will do anything it takes to be called a man. So she says,
What beast was't then that made you break this enterprise to me? When you durst do it, then you were a man. And to be more than what you were, you would be so much more the man.
So she sort of changes her tune a little bit, and so she softens up and she says, all right, listen, if you would do this, if you would go ahead with the murder, you would be even more than a man. So she sort of tries to, like, sweet talk him a little bit.
Nor time nor place did then adhere, and yet you would make both. They have made themselves, and that their fitness now does unmake you. I have given suck, and know how tender 'tis to love the babe that milks me. I would, while it was smiling in my face, have plucked my nipple from his boneless gums and dashed the brains out, had I so sworn as you have done to this.
Okay, so a little bit of a scary scene. Lady Macbeth says that, first of all, this is past tense, I have given. So this means that Macbeth and Lady Macbeth had a child. We don't know what happened to it, but they no longer have a kid. So something happened to the baby. We assume that it died. So she's saying, I have, like, nursed a baby. I know what that bond is. It's a big deal. But if you asked me to, I would, while it was looking up at my face, while it was eating, dash its brains out just because you asked me. So she's trying to kind of test his loyalty here, but obviously it's a horrifying scene.
If we should fail,
We fail, but screw your courage to the sticking place and will not fail. When Duncan is asleep, whereto the rather shall his day's hard journey soundly invite him, his two chamberlains will I with wine and wassail so convince that memory, the warder of the brain, shall be a fume, and the receipt of reason a limbeck only. When in swinish sleep their drenched natures lie as in a death, what cannot you and I perform upon the unguarded Duncan? What not put upon his spongy officers, who shall bear the guilt of our great quell?
Okay, so here's the plan. Macbeth is afraid that the plan maybe won't work, and she says, we won't fail. Screw your courage to the sticking place. You probably recognize that from 32-Second Macbeth. We won't fail. So then the bell. She comes up with this plan. The two guards that are outside of his door, they're going to get drunk. And so while the guards are drunk and asleep, they'll sneak into the bedroom. So then Macbeth says,
bring forth men, children, only, for thy undaunted mettle should compose nothing but males. Will it not be received when we have marked with blood those sleepy two of his own chamber, and used their very daggers, that they have done it?
Who dares receive it other, as we shall make our griefs and clamour roar upon his death?
I am settled, and bend up each corporal agent.
shoot, shoot, shoot.